Okay, today we'll be making a cream of spinach sauce. I got some potatoes boiling, and to complement the potatoes, I'm gonna make this cream of spinach sauce. It's pretty much making a bechamel, seasoning a little bit, and then throwing some spinach in. If you want to get fancy, you can throw cheese and additional flavorings. But yeah, let's prep some ingredients. I got half an onion, 5 cloves of garlic because our family likes garlic. I'm gonna make the bechamel with some flour, some butter. And then, of course, I think, about 4 cups of spinach, some milk, and then some seasoning. Let's get prepping. So for garlic, I like to just give it a quick crush with the blade of the knife. And then I'll finally mince it so it dissolves nicely into the sauce. This is a little bit older garlic from probably a previous season. You can tell it's a little drier, so it doesn't have as much nice fresh flavor as fresh garlic. So I end up using 5 cloves just to give it an extra garlicky kick. I will saute off the onion first, get it a little bit sweeter and softer, and go in with the garlic. For the spinach, I like to chop it up a little bit further just to make the pieces a little smaller. It's still quite a rough chop, but you're not gonna get those long stringy pieces of spinach and stem when you eat it, which I find a little nicer. And I have a 3-year-old, so 3-year-old doesn't need to be, choking on long pieces of spinach. This might seem like a lot of spinach, but once the spinach hits the heat, a lot of the water will evaporate and it's going to wilt very quickly and condense much finer. So it's going to be a quarter of what this really looks like. All right, let's move. So to a pre-warmed saucepan, I'm going to add a little bit of oil. And then I go in with the onion. I find the garlic burns a little bit if you go in too early, so I start with the onion, get it nicely sauteed and translucent before I add in the garlic. I'm just going to let that come up to temperature, saute for a little bit. To help the onion saute, I find adding some salt brings out some of the water content, so it helps them break down a little faster. Might as well do the pepper. Stir. So you can see that the onions are nice and translucent. There's some browning going on, meaning getting in all that flavor. Now I'm gonna go in with my butter. Nice healthy knob of butter. And as that melts, I'm going to introduce the garlic. So now the garlic soften up and infuse its loveliness to the sauce.
And this is gonna help that work itself into the sauce. Probably give it a couple more minutes just to saute. I'm working on a medium heat right now. I find anything higher kind of tends to burn the garlic or the onions, so medium is perfect. After a couple minutes on the heat, I can tell the garlic is now softened up, so I'm gonna go in with my flour. I'm just gonna do 3 generous tablespoons. You're gonna want to work that in nicely so all the flour absorbs the butter. Browning the flour also develops another layer to the flavor profile, which is quite nice. So keep working it, making sure it doesn't burn, but also let it sit a little bit so it can have time to brown. This is where I added my additional seasoning. So I have some seasoning salt I'm going to add in. You can really add in whatever you like. I also have some garlic powder just to add to the garlic flavor. A little bit more black pepper. And just a touch more of just sea salt. Really good mix. You can see that after 3 to 4 minutes, the roux is starting to brown a little bit, which is perfect. That's where we want it. I'm gonna turn down the heat to low in preparation of adding the milk. Now I'm just gonna add in a little bit of milk to help thin out the sauce. This is pretty much a bechamel sauce with spinach. So taste your sauce as you develop it. Right now I'm just going to leave it at this consistency and let it cook a little bit longer. I'm going to return it back to the medium heat. At this point you don't want to leave your sauce. You're going to notice it actually wanting to stick to the bottom because it is quite thick. So make sure to keep moving it and monitoring, make sure it's not burning anywhere. This process is quite more interactive here. I don't want my sauce to get too brown, so I'm pretty happy with it here. And I'm gonna go forward and add my spinach now. So I'm just gonna throw it all in. Don't worry if there's a little bit of water from you washing it. It's all going to steam out anyway. So gently stir it in. It's all going to start wilting and reducing in size quite quickly. As the spinach gets up to temperature, it's going to start releasing its own natural water. And you're gonna just see the sauce all come together. I know I kept it a little thick right now, so I'm gonna add some milk. And just like that, the spinach has become a quarter of its original volume. Look at that. And the sauce is coming together nicely. It has that nice bright green flavor, color. And splash in some milk and then help incorporate that. One of the reasons my family really likes this recipe is when you overbuy those greens, especially spinach, and you can see it starting to go bad for a few days. This recipe really pretty much takes all the spinach you throw at it So instead of letting the spinach wilt away and spoil, just throw together a quick cream of spinach sauce, and you have yourself a delicious sauce to accompany potatoes, meat, whatever you please. I'll show you how I'm plating it in just a second here. But right here, I'm happy with the consistency. If it's too thick for you, you can add in some more milk. As it cools down, it's gonna thicken it naturally.
Now to plate it up, I have some ribs and mashed potatoes. Throw on your cream of spinach on top. And bon appetit. Now let's give it a try. I threw the cream of spinach on top of some mashed potatoes. Mix it in a little bit. Wow, it's that easy. Thanks for watching. Till next time.